Hello and welcome everyone to another episode. Yes, so the Kerbin Far Reach satellite is going into orbit. Yes, we need. I see. This is another thing. I really wanted to start on the satellite network thing, and this is kind of one of the satellites that I launched last time. Well, my initial save that I really liked having in orbit. So there was nothing better than to launch it again, and I know I'm probably getting a little bit overboard on this whole satellite business. I'm sure a lot of people are getting kind of bored with it a little bit, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm really just for me, I just like playing this game and having fun, and I do try to change it up between episodes where we're actually doing different things, and a lot of the stuff is just me playing the game. Okay, so I just want to like emphasize on that like I'm just playing the game, having fun, recording, and just doing whatever it is I want to do. I do take fan suggestions, and there are people who have suggested things, and please, I do want to say I have not forgotten about you, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to do whatever it is you ask me to do. I incorporate whatever it is that you ask me to do, but some of the things that I am asked to do basically are not beyond what I can do, because I can do it. It's just that I would rather, for me, I'm really focused on getting a network built, a really strong network in like with Kerbin, everything 100%, and like with my launches, everything always has somewhat of a purpose. I mean, these satellite launches aren't really necessary, but I really do enjoy having satellites in orbit around Kerbin, and I really try to have a lot of fun with my game. I mean, to me, the number one thing with playing is always having fun. So, I mean, if I'm not having fun, guys, the main thing I'm going to say right now is if I'm not having fun with the game, then I basically don't want to play anymore. Once this game becomes a chore, I just really don't want to play anymore. That's just kind of how it is. When it comes down to like actually doing really important things, and it's like having a laundry list of things. I actually basically have a laundry list of things that I have to do in order for me to really feel confident in interplanetary travel. And I'm not talking like just sending a few probes and stuff like that. I mean, I am going to be sending probes here very shortly to, I'm either thinking Eve or Duna. I'm really leaning more towards Duna. I would, with Duna, the coolest thing is, for me, I want to get another land base down on Duna, and that can be done with just a relatively few launches like I did before. But I'm not really focusing on that 100%, only because I would rather just kind of have some fun in orbit, and with Kerbin, and get all this stuff done. And one thing I will say, and I said this a while ago, is my main primary focus is like basically getting the Kerbin system completely set up, completely done in a way where I'll set up everything. And I've made huge progress compared to my last time. Like my last save file and all that other good stuff, I've made like insane progress. I mean, the Kerbal Space Station is just looking amazing. I never actually built a space station while recording it, other than the, what was it? The Minmus Space Station. Now, I really do try to please everybody with this stuff, and I really try to do as much as I can. Jesus, there's so much crap in orbit around the moon. Can I just... There we go. So, let's see. Our orbit isn't that bad, but we are not. This is once again called the Far Reach satellite, not the in orbit around the moon satellite. So what we're going to do is actually get a lunar orbit. Well, actually, sort of. What we're going to do is use the moon to slingshot us to save a little bit of fuel, because we are going to the furthest reaches of the Kerbin system. We're at least going to try. And I probably brought a lot more fuel and a lot more things than I really needed, but I'm not really that concerned, put it that way. So just speed that up. Oh, slow that down, I should say. And we got to get a really good orbit here. Something like that. We got to get closer, though. That's the thing. The closer you get, the more speed you build up, and it will just shoot you right back out. So, let's see. If we can get really nutty close, that would be awesome. For some reason, I don't see it getting that nutty close. I don't know. I think that's pretty good as it is, to be honest, because that's just going to basically shoot us right out. So, let's get lined up for this burn. Not going to be too insane of a burn. We have this craft here, I will go into explanation a little bit more once we actually get down to the main module here, and we can get rid of this huge tank and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that this tank is probably going to last us all the way to the moon, basically. Not 100% certain, but we'll see. This game always has uncertainties, which I like, so that's the main thing. So let's just get this thing, we'll get a burn going here in a second. But here we go. So, let's see. Yeah, once again, about that gaming thing, if you guys don't mind me kind of rambling on about stuff like that, I'll probably do it more often. I mean, there's certain things I like to talk about as far as the game is concerned, but as far as gaming is concerned, and, there's a lot of things in this, with just the overall community that I just find silly, or just absolutely repulsive in too many ways. So that's kind of where it comes down to, and that's kind of why I kind of want to have that, or I wanted to have that little chat. So, I mean, it was, I really do try to not focus on that stuff so much, because I don't really want to, I don't really like causing any kind of problems, I guess, if you want to say that. That was awesome. So, this thing should, honestly, I think we're going to be alright when it comes down to the fuel situation. Alright, well, here we go. Now, this is going to be like our most important thing. Now, this burn has to get set up really well. Otherwise, we're going to have some problems. Now, I don't want to put it on like an exit trajectory, because I'm a little concerned with that in a way, but I can get it out to about that far. I think that would be alright. Let's see what our... Alright, that's going to be down to 300. I think I'm going to just go with this, to be honest. I think I'm okay with this. This thing is just spazzing out. I really hope that nothing bad happens. Whoa, and then there's our lag from the moon. Once again, I really don't know what that is. It's just the most annoying thing. It just completely slows down. So let's get way out there. Look at these freaking satellites. They're just... This has got to be like the furthest I've gone away from Kerbin in any kind of way. Which is kind of sad, since I've made so many episodes since the release and everything else of the new game, but whatever. Well, we're gonna end up using this main propulsion, whatever you want to call it, uh, the main engine for a little while. I don't plan on keeping it for long. It's just I'm keeping it more for doing the very inaccurate burns and stuff like that, where, you know, it's not really going to be that big of a deal. So let's start our burn here. Jeez, that's insane. Now the main thing is I don't know exactly how far out we can be. That's kind of like one of the main problems, is I just don't remember how far out that satellite that I had was. So it's funny just watching these satellites just whizzing around the planet like crazy. Now this thing has fully equipped everything. SAS, I didn't put any RCS on it or anything like that, just because just didn't need it, and I saw no purpose for it, you know, just adding something like that, I just didn't need it. So we're not going to be doing anything like overly crazy with this, so we don't need to have any like super fine controls with you know, controlling this thing or anything like that. You just don't need it. So 72, I think it was like 79. I don't know, maybe 80. Oh, yeah. So now we're going to need, I think we've, what is this at, 68, and that one, yeah. Well, what we're going to do is we're just going to flip this over, and I'm just going to get it to where it's back into an orbit again. I mean, it'd be funny to have it in something like this and it would just stay in orbit, but we're going to slowly leave the Kerbin system, which is not what the whole point of this mission was. But we're going to line up with the moon, too. I forgot to do that, just so we can fix our orbit, because our orbit's a little funky right now. So that'll be our next burn. Let's bring that back a little. There we go. So is this going to line up? Is it 0, 0? Can I get 0, 0? This is going to fight me every inch of the way. Yeah, no, I'll bring this. Yeah, come on, come on. There we go. So that will be our next burn, just to line this back up with the moon. I usually use the moon at the baseline to line up all my things. You know, once I get something in orbit around a specific body, the moon or wherever it is, I try to line it up the best way I can. For those of you who are new and don't really know about these things, so I should just kind of mention that. But dear God, like this is going to be the longest mission that I've done so far. It's already been 10 days, and this thing has just finally gotten to its node, which I think is insane. We're still on year 1, guys, so that's the other thing I think is kind of awesome about this, is just that I have been doing so much around the Kerbin system, and I have been ignoring all the interplanetary stuff too, is because I'm not like really overly concerned about the time in the game and stuff like that, but I just think it is kind of awesome that, you know, you're talking like 80 days in the future. The Kerbin system itself went from being basically lonely to having all kinds of stuff and satellites and just everything in orbit. So let's just bring this over. There we go. I don't try to get this close to the apoapsis, or these points, I should say, because it just makes it harder when you hold your mouse over it and you can't see anything, and it's just a pain. Yeah, I should just say that. So we'll speed up 10,000 times. Is this going to be like a 20-day orbit? That would just be nutty. I mean, look how far out that is already. I mean, I can't believe how far out that is. might as well, let's see, where is this at? That's 83, so we just need to bring that one out to 83 now. Shouldn't be too much work, or too much of a problem, at least I hope. I don't think you can get further out than 83. That's why I put these ion engines on it as well, and the ion engines are going to be kind of the baseline to see how far we can really push this thing out there. Oh god. See what happens with a slip of a finger? It's amazing. I think it even exceeded 80. I'm not even sure, but if we can get it out to like 90, that'd be amazing. See what happened with the new SAS modules, you can actually, like, I think the old SAS modules had some kind of a problem with them, and they wouldn't allow you to get like a perfect orbit almost. 83 I think might be the absolute limit. I'm not sure. So we have our little, I call this like the ghetto fairing. I'm gonna pull in these solar panels real quick just to ensure that they don't get damaged, because sometimes this stuff has a tendency to blow out in every direction, which I'm gonna quick save too, just in case. Sometimes these things have a tendency to blow out in every direction, so let's just decouple here. And this thing, we are going to say goodbye to it. I'm going to do a burn down a little bit. There we go. I don't know how long of a burn we're going to have to do with this thing, but I just want to get it back to Kerbin, or to where it's going to like crash into something. Let's see. Bring that all the way down. I think it's ready to crash. Yeah. Oh my god, we're so far away from this thing already. Time to switch craft. I can't believe how much of a distance that is already. Yeah, this is the one. Is it this? No. Is it this one? Yeah, I can't even. Why isn't it let me change crafts here? Hold on, let's try this again. Come on. What? Come on. Alright, I see what you're trying to do here. Alright, there it is. There we go. Now, I don't think we missed any kind of, nodes or anything like that. So I'm going to open up all the satellite dishes. I think all of these should be on as well. Yeah, there we go. So we got all of these on. This is where is it? Where is the other ones? I was looking for the... Yeah, we're in a vacuum. I did not know... What? Look at that, too. That's crazy. It's this is the first time I've actually seen this thing change, ever. It's actually moving. It's doing something. Usually it's always one solid temperature and never changes. I don't know what's going on. That's actually kind of crazy to me. Now, the other thing with this that I'm a little concerned about, or at least I don't know if... See, the module, the command module on this thing, I think I put it on upside down, but I'm not sure. I meant to do that, though, because the engines, I wanted the command module to face this way, because we decoupled with this, and this was basically pointing towards the bottom of the spacecraft, whereas now this has become the top. So this is basically what's left of it, and I just need to test this out to see what this is going to do, because I'm not 100% certain that this module, that this pointing this way is actually the correct way. So we'll have to see when we do our burn if it's going to screw up everything or not. Although I will say this thing isn't very maneuverable. I figured it would be a little bit more maneuverable, but I guess not. I don't think it's got an SAS module on it either, so that kind of sucks. But this thing is, I think it's SAS equipped anyway, so, I mean, it's not like a big deal. So let's just see what this does. It's already kind of spazzing out, so. Yeah, it's really spazzing out. So retrograde burn. Yeah, okay, so retrograde is actually working. Everything's working. I think I put it on there correctly. So this thing has all the science instruments on it. It has just an unbelievable amount of the xenon on it. And I put RCS fuel on it as well, but I forgot to refuel it. So that was kind of a stupid thing on my part. So let's just, alright, we're back at retrograde again. We need to go to prograde. Come on. Just stop all physics. There we go. So yeah, I put a lot of time and effort into this thing a little bit. I was just really trying to figure out, and if this thing works, I might launch another one, and we will definitely not be staying in the Kerbal system. So I want to see what this thing can do as far as like interplanetary, maybe. I'm not 100% certain. Okay, so flipping this thing around is going to be the biggest pain. And I wish maybe, see, like RCS is such a great thing because it's really good for doing the same exact thing, and you can also go in reverse. So that's kind of the best part about it. I don't know if we're going to be able to get any better than what we got, to be honest, but I'm going to really try. See, 83.5, and that's at 83.2. So we should, this is pretty much the furthest it's going to be able to go, so. Jeez, everything, like even Minmus, it's funny because Minmus is like one of the slowest. You just watch it going so quickly. But this thing really does have a slow orbit as it is, so. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so 83, we can do a little bit. I don't know how much, but a little bit. Let's try to line this up. And we're talking like meters a second difference here. That, like, this is just insane. Like how much slower it is out here compared to being close to Kerbin. But that's a given. It's an obvious one, but it's just really insane. So this thing needs to be pointed. I mean, I could leave it like this, which I don't really like. I'm gonna end up pointing it more towards the sun and just kind of leave it pointed that way. So let's just get this lined up here. Really nothing else with this craft, to be honest. It was kind of a fun thing. It's a little bit of like, to me this is always like experimenting. You're trying something different. You're doing something weird or new or whatever. And to me, going out this far is just absolutely awesome to think that you can actually go out this far in orbit around the planet, and then you start getting like an exit trajectory. So let's see. There was something else I wanted to do, and even look, the Far Orbit satellite, the command module that we had for it still is just falling towards Kerbin right now, which I really hope. Yeah, it looks like it's intersecting with Kerbin right now, so that's good. And I hope this thing doesn't end up getting on an exit trajectory as well. That would kind of suck. But I don't really have to worry too much about where's Kerbin. I really don't have to worry too much about, this thing leaving. Even if it leaves, I mean, I'll probably end up just launching another one. I'm trying to see where Kerbin is. I can't even see it. Oh, yeah, obviously. It's always the same thing over and over again. I'm like, where's Kerbin? Where's Kerbin? I can never see Kerbin. Yeah, so there's Kerbin. There's the moon. Let's see. Minmus would be like somewhere around in this area. But I can't even see the shininess. Oh, is that it right there? I don't know. Everything's so small. We're too far away from everything. Yeah, imagine being in the blind, the dark spot of Kerbin. It probably lasts for like 2 seconds. Alright, so... Wow. Well, we're gonna have to fix that. I don't know what happened. I was about to just leave it there like that and, you know, just whatever. So it's... Oh my god, I was just at retrograde. What's wrong with me? So we just gotta do a little retrograde burn. I want this thing to stay in orbit, you know, preferably. So I thought it was pretty much fine the way it was, but apparently not. I mean, even if you look at the speed, like, it's not even changing when I do my burn. So, let's see. I gotta get the moon as a target. And then we gotta see what our orbit is. See if it's still perfect. There we go. Yeah, everything's looking pretty good. And I'm just gonna leave it a little bit under. Just because I don't want this thing to leave. I said I didn't care, but at the same time, I would rather not have to do this again. But yeah, you're looking at the furthest point out you can get, which is 83,558,000, something like that. The very furthest point out you can actually get to. So that's kind of, I think that's kind of awesome. I don't care what you think. I don't care even a little bit. Let's see. I just try to get these panels lined up too. Once you line up the panels, it will always stay like that. So you can see. Let's see what the shadow, being in the shadow of Kerbin, is like. If you can even, if there even is some kind of a shadow. Otherwise, I think it just gets blotted out by the sun. I think I did notice something different there, but I don't honestly think that that was in any way of like an eclipse or anything. So, I don't know what just happened. I really don't. I can see the moon. Oh, wait, there's Minmus right there. You can see the shiny. So anyways, guys, the Far Reach satellite was pretty good success. A little bit over prepared. You know, we used so much xenon gas in this episode. But yeah, so if you like what you see here, subscribe. There's always more to come. And yeah, I will see you next time.